Hello guys, it's Maddie Silmish and welcome to another video where today I am building a apartment that is inspired by the countryside, farming, cottages, that kind of deal. So obviously since the release of, well, not the release, but like the announcement of the next expansion pack, Cottage Living, everyone is super excited, myself included. And let me tell you, I was not one of the people who really wanted farming as a pack. Not necessarily that I didn't want it, but I just wasn't that bothered. Like, it's not a huge interest of mine in real life, and I never really sort of imagined it in The Sims, so I wasn't super fussed. But actually, since they've announced it, it looks really good, it looks really cute, and I can't wait to like own llamas and chickens and things like that. So yeah, I am actually super excited, and I know a lot of people are as well, and it's still a long wait. Like, as I'm recording this, it's just under a month away until we get it, and I know a lot of people are really excited and building kind of builds in that theme already. So I've seen a lot of like videos of farms and like farmhouses and cottages and things like that, and they all look really cool, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit different and probably not something that would be kind of typical in this style, which is an apartment, because of course you can't farm in an apartment, and it's all kind of focused on the outdoors and growing stuff and keeping animals, none of which is really like possible to do in an apartment. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to imagine a story where perhaps somebody like is a farmer or like comes from a family of farmers. That's like very much what they're used to. But all of a sudden they find themselves having to move to the city of San Myshuno, which is where this build is. And, you know, they're having to kind of leave their farming life behind. But at the same time, it's still a part of them. It's kind of how they grew up and, you know, what they're used to. So they definitely still keep the kind of farming ideas, the farming style in their apartments. So that meant that I used a lot of cats and dogs. You can see the sofa and the chair that I used there. A lot of cats and dogs, a lot of laundry day, and of course the country kitchen kit as well. Really suits this theme, and possibly should have seen that as a clue for what was to come. But yeah, I thought that was quite a nice story. I was imagining maybe this might be, because like this apartment is for two Sims, so perhaps like one of the Sims comes from a farming family, like they grew up farming but then got married, and their partner like is not into farming, is not in that kind of life, and they have a job that requires them to live in the city. So the Sim that is a farmer has had to move to the city, but again, it doesn't really want to let go of that past in that kind of way. So yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of capture. So although they can't actually do farming, there's like little sort of nods to the farming style and animals. And while they can't keep animals, I did decide that they would have a cat, just because, yeah, I think that's really fun. I love having pets. And when I live in apartments, I do have cats as well, because dogs are a little bit difficult. Like, I wouldn't want a dog in real life in an apartment anyway. But yeah, so I imagine that they have a cat, and they just try to sort of keep the farming side of them, you know, close as much as possible. And as I'm talking about this really reminds me of Modern Family, if any of you guys have seen that show, with like Cameron and Mitchell. Like, I feel like that is very much like, you know, Cam coming from Missouri and Mitchell like living in California. And like Cam's definitely still has like some of his kind of farming like childhood about him. He still like remembers it fondly. So I wasn't really thinking that when I was building it, but now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I think that that works really well, and I think that would probably be like a good kind of way to understand what I was kind of going with for this build. But another thing that I really wanted was a nice big kitchen. So you can see it kind of has an archway leading on to the dining area, and the kitchen was a little bit awkward. I don't do like, I don't know, continuous counters across. At first I experimented with these kind of like side table drawers. I think I do end up keeping two of them, but I do move them out of the way. I end up having some island counters as well. And yeah, I definitely wanted to use the country kitchen kit, because, you know, it's perfect for this style. That's exactly what I was going for. And throughout this build, there is a lot of brown, green, and yellow. That was kind of what I was going for. You can see at the beginning what I actually built with those like cats and dogs sofas, and that little coffee table as well, with the tea set from the like Moroccan kit. That was more kind of like a I don't know what you would call it. I'm not posh enough to know, but like it's kind of a living room, but it's kind of like a, I don't know, family room or like an entertaining room. Like it doesn't have a TV or anything. It's just to kind of sit and chill. And then the main living room is elsewhere in the build. But I really loved those sofas, and I love the green and yellow swatch. And I think I just wanted to continue that on as much as possible throughout the build. I love this like Apple clock that came with Discover University, and I knew that I wanted to use it. I actually want to use it a lot more in builds, but it doesn't always fit. Whereas when I do like country farm style builds, that's when I tend to use it. I think it works best. But yeah, I wanted to get some like cat food. You got the cat bowls there. I think I sort of finished the build and forgot to add a litter tray to the bathroom, but I do add that in later. And then you can see I've got scratching posts there, and I also add a little cat tree as well. I used to own cats when I was very young. In fact, I think we had about 4 cats, and like they were all kind of adopted or like ended up with us through like weird circumstances. But yeah, unfortunately different things happened to them. Some ran away and we never saw them again. Some died, unfortunately. One cat actually got run over and lost its tail, and we couldn't afford the medical bills, so a neighbour had to look after the cat. So we have a bit of a disastrous history with looking after cats. And then to top it all off, I actually became allergic to cats, which I feel is like something I don't really hear about very often. I know it does happen, but yeah, I didn't used to be allergic to cats. Like I literally grew up around 4 cats, but then we got a dog after we lost all the cats, and then I just realized like a few years later that I'd suddenly become allergic to cats. It's not terrible, but I do get like a runny nose and like red eyes and itchy eyes, so it's a little bit weird, but I do find cats so cute. Like growing up, every single year I asked for a cat themed calendar. So like my yearly calendar that I got every Christmas always had like kittens on it. I've always loved cats. So I actually like love playing with The Sims and having cats and like adopting stray cats. And that's one of the great things about The Sims, of course, is that you can kind of live out a life that you don't actually lead. Like you can kind of live out your fantasy life. So yeah, that's something I very much enjoy, and I definitely imagined that the Sims that lived here would own cats. But you can see I'm spending quite a bit of time cluttering up the kitchen because, again, I just think like a Sim that is from a farming background, probably they like love to cook, and you know, they've probably grown up like learning to kind of prepare food and meals with the things that they farmed, like eggs and vegetables and things like that. So I just always think with any kind of build that's country or farm themed, I just think it's really kind of like appropriate to have a real like focus on cooking and the kitchen. So and then also the big dining table as well with lots of seats. Maybe they like to entertain a lot. But just moving on to the living room, it is super simple. I was just playing around with the position of some of the sofas, and actually I drew out the floor plan. And sometimes when I do a floor plan, I put like just placeholder pieces of furniture, so I remember kind of what room I planned it to be, like whether it's a living room or a bedroom. I didn't do it in this build, and I actually, you might have seen, started to build the living room in like another room, and I wasn't sure why it wasn't really working out, and then I realized that that was actually the bedroom. So I just moved everything over. I wanted to use those kind of old style sofas, again in that green theme, to kind of keep up the green and yellow style in this apartment. But yeah, bathroom, super simple. There is one ensuite leading from the bedroom, and then there is also a main bathroom as well. There is a little is there a little laundry area? I did put laundry baskets. I assume there is a laundry area, or I hope there is. But yeah, I am just kind of rearranging some of the things on the side of the kitchen. I imagine they probably accumulated lots of different things over the years. I thought that was really cute. And then just going on to the main bathroom, again, just wanting to kind of keep this like old style, old fashioned like furniture look, which I don't do very often because personally it is not my preferred style at all. I really love modern, I really love bohemian. If you watch my videos or like see how many videos I have in that style, you can probably work that out. But at the same time, I also always talk about how important I think it is to like challenge yourself and try building in different styles. So I do that quite often. And yeah, although this isn't like a typical style for me or one that I personally am a huge fan of, I thought it was really fun, and I don't hate it. Like, I think it looks really cute. And then yes, this is the laundry room. I was panicking for a little bit, but one thing I wanted to do was make it a little bit more, again, I don't really know what you would call this room, but like it's got a sink in it. It's like just a general like utility room, I guess you would call it. And that like fake laundry basket that I put down there by the wall, that is actually what I delete to make room for the cat litter tray when I forgot about it. But yeah, I just wanted to add like a little sink, and then it is of course near the kitchen as well, so I thought that works quite nicely. Just I can imagine maybe as well it's got a little bit of a pantry with some of the like counters and drawers there. But just moving on to the bedroom, and again having to use the cats and dogs pack because it just fits so perfectly with like the picture and the bedside table and the bed and the wardrobe and the curtains. It all just like perfectly sums up the style that I was trying to go for. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!